Hey, Brendan here. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. I got a great show for you guys today. I'm going to be joined by Jason DeVrienzo, my podcast co-host, and we did a 10-round DEVY mock. I got guys who are part of my NFL Draft Big Board subscription service. We do these mock drafts throughout the year. So we're going to go through the results of the 10 rounds. We're going to talk about all sorts of great players. Now, you guys that play Dynasty that don't know what DEVY means, it's basically where we're drafting college players now, putting them on our Dynasty taxi squads. And then they're part of part of our team. We just can't get fantasy points from them until they're drafted in the NFL. So we're going to be talking about 2026 players today, 2027 rookies, 2028 rookies that you most likely will be drafting in your future rookie draft. So if you want to learn more about DEVY, check out the website below. It's a great way to scout future Dynasty players and assets. It's a fun format. It costs no more than buying me a 30-pack of Miller Lite to get a whole year of access to ranks for the 2026 players, 2027 and 2028, and all sorts of all 22 film cut-ups and a lot more. Go check that out. All right, I'm going to be joined here by Jason. We're going to go through 10 rounds. Buckle up. It's a little long of a show, but we're going to go through some of these players, and I'm sure if you play DEVY and C2C, you got these guys on your taxi squads already, so it'll be a good exercise to see the current values of your favorite DEVY players. All right, let's get to it. Enjoy the show. Exactly. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's go through round one, Jason. Okay. And the consensus number one guy, right? This is a startup. It's a PPR super
Right.
flex tight end premium. Not to bring up tight ends again, but Jeremiah Smith going number one is not uncommon. He seems to be
Nope.
the 101 guy. Lenore Sellers, number two. Ryan Williams, number three. With the fourth pick, Arch Manning. DJ Lagway, number five, sixth pick in the first round, Nicholas Singleton. Then I'm on the board at number seven. I take Cade Klubnik. He's my QB1 right now of all of DEVY. I think he's the Heisman winner. He's my choice there. So you had the eighth pick, and who did you take, sir?
Well, Drew Aller, man. I mean, I thought the QB
Still
run was gonna
believer.
continue on. I'm still a believer in that upside, yeah. I mean, when I'm looking at DEVY and, Drew Aller's potential that he could possibly have, I mean, I am absolutely expecting him to take another step in the right direction this year, considering the step I saw him take last year. If that trend continues, we should see another nice year from Drew Aller's development. But I was curious what you were gonna think seeing Singleton go in the middle of that QB crop. And you took Klubnik right after. Singleton there was kind of interesting with the run that we just had in those first couple picks.
Yeah, I couldn't take him this early. I just can't.
I don't think I could either.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
take a swing with a quarterback or a wide receiver who's going to give me twice as many years, hopefully, in
Yeah, I agree.
Dynasty. So, all right, with the ninth pick moving on in the first round, Jeremiah Love comes off the board. So it's either Singleton Love that I've seen in mocks that I participated in. Jordan Tyson, arguably, he's my wide receiver one, and DEVY's been that way for quite some time. Guy looks like a stud down there in Arizona State. Two QBs here. Luigi taking Garrett Nussmeier, and then Brent, longtime subscriber, Sam Levitt. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 10 are quarterbacks. Out of the 12,
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It is. We know
look
it's
at the format, and if this is a startup, I mean, you kind of want to start with that position.
And I'll tell you what, man, of all the positions, there's nothing sweeter than going to the NFL draft and having one of your guys hit as a quarterback.
I can't agree more.
And he's already on your roster.
I
It can
know.
be equally
I
as
can't agree more.
painful with my Jalen Milroe shares, but I've not given up hope.
Hey, there's potential there.
There's
Don't give up hope
potential.
just yet.
I know.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, you got to swing with these quarterbacks. It's there's a lot of discussion out there. Do you pass on that because the hit rate is also very low? Because we only get 2 or 3 at most a year that really pan out, but they draw you in every time, man. There's just no way you can go about it. So that rounds out round one. So let's talk about round two.
Oh, and look at what Brent did here. I think we should talk about Brent with that double tap.
Yeah, he does. He's gone around the horn at the last pick in the first round. He comes back at the beginning. I love this selection. Bryce Underwood. He's the Michigan quarterback who appears to be going to be starting as a freshman. He is a 2028 eligible NFL draft prospect. He's an incoming freshman. Justice Haynes, not uncommon here. TJ Moore,
Love that.
Corian Moore, he is the wide receiver
Yep.
one coming in as a freshman going to Oregon. Cam Coleman just did a film breakdown with this was your selection. I'm sorry. I'm getting
That was
ahead of
my
myself.
selection.
That's all right.
That's
So
okay.
Cam Coleman.
I mean, we're going in order here.
Yeah, that's right. So you select Cam Coleman at the pick, which is
Yep.
understandable. And I'm following up with Bryant Wesco. Kate Klubnik, I think, is going to be throwing the ball a ton to him and more all season long. Another receiver coming off the board here, Carnell Tate, Nate Frazier, running back from Georgia, which seems to make sense here in the middle of the second round. He's a top 3 or 4 DEVY running back, so that makes sense. Antonio Williams certainly makes sense here. 3 Clemson wide receivers. That's exact in the first 2 rounds. That's exactly why Cade Klubnik
So Kate
is.
Klubnik goes 107, and then his receivers go all in the second round. Like that, Clemson better have a nice high-powered offense with that type of draft capital. Sure.
They've got 3 studs, man. They got 3 studs. The 10th pick in the second round, Dylan Raiola, second-year sophomore player from Nebraska, started as a freshman last year. Air was pointing up for him. Ryan Wingo, Texas wide receiver, it's about time we see him on this list. And then Keelan Russell, all right, another quarterback going to Alabama, 2028 incoming freshman. There's nothing there that really, again, we're going to take early shots. You got Underwood and Russell, 2 2028 prospects on the board here, coming off the board rather. It makes sense because the top 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks usually go off pretty quick. We're going to roll the dice with them. We have no idea if they're going to pan out or not, but we're still going to roll the dice. Anything in that second round that comes off a little uncommon or anything? It seems pretty.
Not uncommon. I think Raiola is going to be the biggest question mark right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
One to me that needs to show the most improvement out of this crop so far. I mean, even Julian Sain's going to be in his first year, but he's surrounded with a Cadillac on offense with his weapons. Raiola is not in the same position, so his development is going to come from Dean Key and a few others that are going to help him, but it's going to have to be between the ears.
Yeah, well, we'll see, right? I mean, all these guys have, as we know, one good season can catapult your draft stock one way or the other, good or bad,
Absolutely.
right? So let's head to the third round. Frank, as he took Keelan Russell, he's back around the horn here with the first pick in the third round. He takes Eric Singleton Jr., one of my favorite receivers in the draft next year. Nick Marsh, great season at Michigan State as a true freshman last year. So you got people excited. Big kid, ex-receiver. Julian Sayin, QB. Ohio State. He's going to be starting. I'm fascinated by this kid, man. I'll tell you what, there is a lot of pressure on this young man right now. You got all those stud receivers, and you play for Ohio State, man. You better have it. You better have some moxie and be able to handle all the pressure. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Makai Lemon here, the 4th pick in the 3rd round. Caden Durham. Yeah, I know you do. Caden Durham, running back from LSU, should be the feature guy in the backfield at LSU down there in Louisiana. Eugene Wilson, kind of surprised Eugene Wilson here. He had a down year. We live in a what have you done for me world lately, right? He kind of got nicked up last year, missed, I think, good 2/3 of the season, I believe. But exciting player from Florida. Then it was my selection.
I was just going to say, I did hear a beat reporter bringing him up quite a bit. So it was like they're really depending on him this season. So he should have a nice opportunity.
Yeah, smaller slot receiver. But his freshman year, he really popped. So people are excited about him. This is my selection here with the 7th pick in the 3rd round. I'm going with my boy, Nick Anderson. I'm still a believer until I don't see it on the field. And then you've got the 8th pick here in the 3rd round. You went back to back. Did I snipe you at all in this draft at all?
No, you didn't. You didn't snipe me, but I thought it was so funny. I saw you take Nick Anderson. I took Jacoby Lane, and then you messaged me, and that is you knew that was going to happen with the two of us.
The 2 most predictable picks, I think.
Right.
The 2 most predictable selections. Yeah, because this is where they're going to. I probably could have waited another round on Nick Anderson. I probably could have
too, but man, I want
not on Jacoby Lane. Maybe not. But hey, listen, this is what I've always preached. You go get your guys, man. That's just the way it is. You want somebody.
I don't think consensus is there on Anderson and Lane yet, from what I've seen. So
yeah, I don't disagree with you. But I think let's finish out the 3rd round. Then I have a comment. Quincy Porter here, wide receiver, 2028 freshman, incoming freshman. Are you really going to doubt an Ohio State wide receiver?
Especially with his size.
Yeah, exactly. Makai Hughes, running back transfer to Oregon, who should get to rock a ton this year.
Absolutely.
John Mateer, transfer quarterback from Washington State, going to Oklahoma. We just did a film breakdown. Me, Luigi, and Rylan G, two of my big board subscribers. Really exciting player. I mean, he is.
He's fun to watch.
He's
man.
got the foundation. He's got the tools. Tough as nails. I mean, he is a competitor out there. He's going to get himself hurt, is what he's going to do. He takes some unnecessary hits.
The way he runs, I can't agree with that.
He's just he's a monster out there with the ball in his hands. But Denzel Boston here, which kind of makes sense. So
312,
312. So I feel like there's nobody there that's popping out saying like, "Wow, that was a reach," or I think everything seems
nobody to me. I think Quincy Porter being the actual true freshman of the group, when there's other players that probably could, like even Mylan Graham we haven't talked about yet, and he should be the next man up. So I think Porter is going to be interesting, but there's so much intrigue with him. He's like 6'3", 200 pounds. I mean, I watched some of his film, and he's got the instant acceleration. He's a man amongst boys out there, so I can absolutely get it.
Yeah.
He's the only one that really stands out. It looks like this was a my guy type of round when I'm looking at it.
It's funny because that's what I was going to say before I said let's just finish out the round. We're getting to that territory. I mean, I really believe going into the fourth round, I think, is where the tier drops. It's this is where you just kind of start taking guys that you like. So with the fourth round, with the first pick, Tavian St. Clair, Ohio State quarterback, just like interesting. People are willing to wait 2 years, probably. If Julian Sayin does well this year, he is going to still be waiting, but it might be worth the wait for sure. Just like if you drafted Julian Sayin, right? You're now getting your opportunity. Khaleke Lockett, a wide receiver, Texas incoming freshman. Quentin Joyner, Texas Tech running back. He played at USC last year. Dante Moore, quarterback. He's one I'm really interested to see this year. I'm interested to see what that coach out there can do to get him to really rebound after, he sat all last year, UCLA a couple of years ago. He flashed. What are your thoughts on Dante Moore? If you had to predict, what do you think would happen with him?
Honestly, he's such a wild card. I really don't know. Like, I want to see him succeed.
I don't think anybody does.
He's a former 5-star recruit, so you want to see him do well in that system. Because if Dante Moore is good, like, football is going to be better. Like, college football is going to be a lot of fun. If he's not, then you don't want to. Oregon just makes college football better. So I want him to be good.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so you got the fifth pick in the fourth round here. Who are you taking?
I got to take my Mylan Graham, man. I mean, that's my guy, and it looks like he is going to be next man up. And I think in the fourth round, for a guy who has first, second round pedigree, I feel like this is nice value.
Yeah, it's a Cornell Tate too. Once he leaves, he should be taking that role next year. Should be the starter. So I got the next pick here at the sixth pick in the fourth round, and I took James People, running back from Ohio State. He should be getting the lead role. I know people are excited about the incoming freshman, but I think he is good. I'm excited. He seemed very explosive from the limited film I saw on him last year. So really excited to see how he progresses and improves his second year. Asamane Chroma, I guess that's how you say it, as I bastardize most names here on this podcast. 2028 incoming freshman running back, headed to Florida State. Seems to be the 1-2 kind of guy off the board. A lot of excitement about him. Darius Taylor, Minnesota running back. Zachariah Branch, wide receiver from Georgia, getting a lot of good spring buzz. Jerome Miles, wide receiver.
Really like this kid.
I know you do. He was one of your players we talked about last week on the pod. Wide receiver going to Texas A&M, incoming freshman, and then another incoming freshman, Taylor, Georgia wide receiver. So we got a nice run here on wide receivers, 2028 wide receivers. This is kind of in the fourth round where they're coming off the board in a startup. Outside maybe Quincy Porter, right? And of course, the kid going to Oregon. And the last pick in the fourth round is Hussein Longstreet, USC quarterback. Anything kind of stick out there?
Sticking out, I watched some Taylor the other night. I love this kid. I think he is a master manipulator. I love the separation ability. I think there's something special with Taylor. I really, really do. He, when we do our freshman ranks, he's going to be pretty high up my board, I think. And then Longstreet, I have a bit of a question mark. I think his
that's what I was going to say.
I don't know. He holds the ball too low. I think his carriage, he's got a bit of a wind up with the release, and he always pats the ball. Julian Sain does the same thing, but his release is a lot faster. I don't know. I'm not a long street guy, I think. I
Yeah,
wasn't overly impressed.
yeah, and we're going to be talking about our freshmen in the next few podcasts. We've decided, and I just started watching the quarterbacks, and can't say I was. He came out and looked anything special, Longstreet. But
Yeah.
in any case, like there he is. I mean, again, you're taking that early quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, or not in the
Right.
draft, but in the coming out of high school. So, all right, the fifth round here, Bryson Washington, a guy that I really like, Baylor running back, C.J. Carr. Is he going to be the guy this year at Notre Dame?
He's gonna be the guy. Yep.
Okay.
He's gonna
All right.
drive the train, man.
There you go.
So we'll see
Jaden
what
Ball.
happens.
Just I'm cutting up an all 22 film of him against his Kentucky game. That was the game he had 5 touchdowns in his LSU game. So if you are an
Mm,
NFL Draft Big Board subscriber, expect to see some Jaden Ball all 22 film headed your way very soon. Dallas Wilson, incoming freshman, going to
do like that
Florida,
pick.
who just that's a great value. I mean, he just blew up in
Yeah.
that spring game. That was
Yeah.
was pretty impressive. 2028
His
wide receiver.
his tape reminds me a bit of a younger Des Bryant with how
Mhm.
angry he plays. I like
Yeah.
him a lot.
Yeah. Emmett Mosley, a guy I'm really high on as well. I think good value
Yep.
here. Wide receiver, 2027 NFL draft prospect. Vernell Brown, another incoming freshman. Florida had a good recruit this year in the wide receiver room. So
They
we'll have to
did.
see if they can get themselves on the field. Fernando Mendoza, I take with the 7th pick. I mean, an intrigue here. So like I'm seeing like the long street guy come off the board, right? The CJ Carr,
Yeah.
the guy we've seen nothing from yet. And I don't know. Mendoza was sitting there, and I said, I think I got to take a shot. Like you just don't know. And
It makes sense, especially in the 5th round for a guy who could be an NFL franchise QB. It makes total sense.
he's getting some buzz coming from Cal. He's got an
He
opportunity
is.
in
Yep.
Indiana, and I don't know. He's just sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a stab with another quarterback here instead of going
I
for
totally get it.
a tier 3 or tier 3 running back or wide receiver. So you got the 8th pick in the 5th round. Who'd you swipe, buddy?
Yeah, I went with Harlem Berry, the LSU true
Like it.
freshman running back. I mean, explosive, high caliber pass catcher. The closest thing I've seen to like a Devon A chain explosive, dynamic pass catching weapon that might be undersized, but with seeing what James Cook can do with the Bills, I kind of like what Berry could be at LSU and going into the NFL in the future.
Yeah, so we got the 9th pick in the 5th round. CJ Baxter coming off that pretty bad knee injury. Bo
Yeah,
Jackson, running back from Ohio State, certainly explosive.
other explosive. Yeah,
We talked about him last week on the pod. First tight end off the board. Very surprising. Kenyon Sadiq. The people are going with the production, the athleticism, the upside, right? The guy hardly
that
played
is
last
upside
year.
right there.
Whew, now that doesn't tell you. Not that I want to get into it, talk about tight ends, but if that
Oh, I
doesn't
get
tell
it.
you the state of the tight end, that's the first guy off the board, which is pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Jonah Coleman lasting all the way down here. Some got him pegged as a day 2 running back in the draft next year. Jonah Coleman,
I do like Jonah.
2026. So it's pretty good value, man, down here at like halfway through the draft.
This
Getting
is
Jonah
actually a
Coleman.
fun round. There's a lot of upside in this round, and it's kind of almost pick your flavor in a way. And I think Jonah Coleman was a great value. The back end of the 5th round, he has the potential to be a high caliber NFL running back, or maybe, just one of those guys that works in the committee. But I would say most running backs work in the committee in the NFL anyway. I'd like to take a guy like Jonah Coleman who can sustain an NFL size defender.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like for my approach, I've been burned so many times with freshmen. I've learned over the last couple years, I'm going for I'm going to take the guys that I've seen a little
Hmm.
bit more. The freshman fever is hard to break. When you've got a freshman fever, it's really hard to break, right? But I've
I
been
know.
burned
Yeah.
so many times. I'm just like, okay, I think I'm going to just go with the guy that I've seen. Except for those top guys going to the top programs. But all right, so let's get to the 6th round. DeAndre Moore Jr., a guy you and I very much going to not going to Texas. So he was at Texas last year. I think the stock arrow is up on that guy. He is draft eligible in
I think so too.
2027. Max Clare finally got a 2026 tight end off the board here. Arguably could be the tight end 1 of the 2026 class. I love this pick here. Gideon Davidson, a guy that I really like at Clemson. He's an incoming freshman. I'm interested to see if he gets on the field. There's really nobody exciting in Clemson in front of him, as far as I'm concerned, as far as who could potentially keep this kid off
It's
the
gonna be a
field.
good debate for us because I didn't come away as impressed with Davidson, so I'm glad,
Okay, well then we'll
we're,
have some good conversation
at odds
about
with
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bryce Lance is taken here. This guy must be
He
following
is
my.
getting that buzz, man.
I
He
tell
really
you,
is.
I tell you, go watch the film on the kid. He looks
Yeah, you know
unbelievable.
what? That's why I can't say I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna judge it, but he's definitely
So
getting the hype.
so you're on the pick, right? And I think this is probably phase 2 of our we knew who each other was going to select, because these are who'd you pick at the fifth pick in the sixth round? One of your guys. You
I
guys,
mean
it's
I
a
went
golden
with
donor.
Jaden
I'm looking at
Greathouse.
him.
I had to do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
6th
figured.
round with the potential that he could have, and yeah, he's a very intelligent route runner. I like this pick a lot
Yeah,
for
and I
6th round
follow
value.
you with JoJo Trader,
I
player that
love JoJo Trader. I think that's a
yeah.
great pick on your part.
Yeah, well, I'm hopeful he he
He should be
flashed
the
last
primary
year. I
weapon
mean,
there.
it's another projection pick. From the limited thing that I saw, but I still go back to his high school film of what I really liked. He
Yeah,
didn't show a ton last year on film. He gets nicked up a little bit. He's got to stay healthy, but if he can, I think he arguably could be the wide receiver 1 at Miami next year and really
I
take a
could see
leap
it.
forward. Quentin Martin,
Yeah.
Jr. He was a hot freshman selection last year. Everybody wants those Penn State running backs. He's probably not going to get on the field a whole lot this year with Allen and Singleton
Can't
still there.
imagine that. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's something makes me nervous, the fact that they didn't rotate him in much at all last year. If he's
He's
that
more of a
explosive.
pass catching weapon to me
Yeah,
too. So I
exactly.
wonder if they try to get him involved in the pass game, maybe as a slot. I don't know.
I'm
That'd be
really
a
hoping.
nice versatile weapon to use.
Yeah, I think they could use some creativity on that offense. God
Yeah,
forbid.
I think so too.
Kevin Concepcion, I think, is a fantastic value here. I think he might be
I
a
do
little
too.
underrated going into the 2026 draft. A player I want to get a little bit more eyes on now at Texas A&M in that crowded wide receiver room. Isaac Brown, another smaller, back who was just super productive at Louisville next year, can certainly understand the selection here. Jordan Marshall,
Mhm.
another nice selection. We talked about him last week. He was one of my players who I'm
Yeah,
hoping really increases their value this year. Should be getting on the field with Justice Haynes this year. Caleb Cunningham. I've not watched any of Cunningham, Ole Miss wide receiver, 2028 incoming
I've only
freshman.
watched it a little bit, and it was a while ago. I honestly can't even recall. So
So, but like you said, we're
glad
going to
we're
be
going to be
digging
doing
into the
these freshman
freshmen.
ranks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Shakai Mills Knight, Ole Miss running back. He's another incoming freshman as well. So he rounds out the round. A lot of good players. Still
Yeah, I think
players
there's still a lot of good value here, man.
with value. There's still players, even
Yeah,
after the 6th round, there's still players I got circled that I'm like, oh, okay.
I do
That
too.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to get. So, all right, let's go
A
into
couple of my guys are coming up here.
yeah, exactly. The 7th round, Malcolm Simmons, wide receiver, freshman last year, going into his sophomore season, was playing in the shadows of Cam Coleman, but certainly had his moments on the field where he looked like he was a difference maker. Carson
For
Beck.
sure.
Carson Beck. What do you think happens at Miami with Carson Beck? I was listening to the Cover 3 podcast
I
about
listened
Carson
to it
Beck.
too.
And
Yeah.
I loved how they said that they're not that they're dumbing down the offense, but Miami runs such a much simpler offense to get the ball out of his
Yeah.
hands quicker. He might have a good bounce back season. We'll see. The 3rd pick in the 7th round, Jaden Ott. He is. I think I got that. No, he's not there anymore. He's in Oklahoma. I got the
No,
wrong.
he's at
Yeah,
Oklahoma. Yeah.
I got the wrong logo on here. Jaden
That's all
Ott,
good.
though. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does at Oklahoma, if he can rekindle his DEVY stock. It's been kind of tumbling for quite some time. Jordan Lyle,
Love him.
Miami running back down here. So I'm like really interested on how all those running backs for 2028 were taken, but there's so much buzz about Jordan Lyle, and I'm going to just come right out and say it. I just cut up 3 of his all 22 films, and I don't know, man. I don't see it with him.
Well, he's not a primary back. He's definitely a complementary like he's the lightning to a thunder.
Yeah,
I
he
almost
struggled
wanted to
running in between the tackles a bit. I mean, he
But I
was
actually think that Mark Fletcher and him are gonna complement each other really well in that
yeah,
backfield.
yeah. Fletcher should hopefully will stay healthy. He's his first really
Yeah.
off season where he is working with the ball. Eli Stower's another tight end here with the 5th pick in the 7th round. Le'Veon
Yeah.
Moss, love this value with Le'Veon Moss, another forgotten DEVY asset because he didn't play last year or he got hurt or I forget
Mhm.
what happened, but he is going to be eligible this year, but he could actually arguably come back. If he does come back from that knee injury, he could really with a good season elevate and get back on the Devy map. He is kind of one of the forgotten running backs right now in Devy after that injury. So I'm on this. I'm on the clock here at the 7th round with the 7th pick in the 7th round, and I'm taking the best tight end in college football, hands down, Lawson Lucky. I feel like I'm stealing down here in the 7th round. I think this kid's a difference maker. I really do. I think this is the year he breaks out, and he is one of the top tight ends in the 2026 draft if he does declare. So who you taking here? Love this selection, by the way. I really do, because we're gonna know 6 months into the season if this guy's got what it takes.
I completely agree. And I was honestly 7th round surprised he was still sitting there. And I took Nick Harbor, who's getting a ton of hype going in to this upcoming NFL draft for 2026. Yeah, and they're really excited about him. They think he's taking the next step. He's solely focused on just football. He's solely focused on just the receiver
Mhm.
position. And yeah, I mean, dude, if he hits, he's going to hit DK Metcalf type big. So I'm excited to get that kind of value in the 7th. And if Eli Stowers didn't go, that would have been tough for me to figure out because Stowers is my tight end 1, and I just want to match you up with your tight end 1. But I was definitely happy to see Nick Harbor there.
We got to talk about a little wager. A little
I
wager. I
think we
feel
have
it.
to.
I
Let's
think we got
do
to
it.
get a wager. I think we're going to get a wager going on. So Dane Key coming off the 9th pick in the 7th round. Great
That's a good
selection
value.
here. A
Yeah.
great value. Great value. Again, just a player in Devy no one really believes in anymore because
Dylan
he's at
Rayova's
Kentucky and
number
he's
1 target.
boring. He's the kind of kid that could go to the Senior Bowl and make some noise next year.
I think so
Uh,
too. Yep.
Darian Mensah, quarterback from Duke. Interesting selection here. Austin Simmons coming off the board. Love the selection. Luigi's taking him with the 11th pick. Fantastic value for a starting
Mhm.
SEC quarterback who really is just take the dice, man, and throw and roll the dice. You got nobody knows if he's going to fail, or he could by 6 months could be the stud and the talk of the town if he's tearing it up at Ole Miss. Nico Amaliavalia here at the 7th round, finishing out the 7th round.
Fall of
So
Nico, man. Amazing.
do you think he gets it all any draft buzz next year?
I think there's so much intrigue with the skill set and the size, the dual threat ability with that size, the arm strength. Like, I'm sure there's an NFL team that says, we can do something with that, but he's gonna have to prove a lot. I mean, the mental processing was probably one of the worst that I saw
Yeah.
last year. So
Yeah.
I want to see him improve. I do,
Mm.
but it's tough.
Elijah Surratt starts off our 8th round here. Indiana wide
Nice.
receiver, just good physical possession receiver who I think will be a early day 3 selection in the draft next year. Peyton Lewis,
Yeah.
guy you and I have spoken about a couple
Yeah.
times, not draft eligible to 2027. Tennessee running back. We'll see if he gets some run this year. Wayshawn Parker.
I
Maybe
like this kid.
I know you did. You talked about him
Yeah.
a little
He
while
was one of my
ago.
deep dive players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
explosive player. Lotier Brooks, Alabama wide receiver, incoming freshman, taken
Yeah,
here
he is
again.
rising.
That's I think pretty good value down here. I mean,
Yeah.
Alabama, wide receiver. Kevin Riley. Oh, I'm sorry, he was your selection. He was the 5th
That
pick
was
in the
that
8th
was
round.
my guy.
Mhm.
Yeah. I still believe. I
I know
still
you
believe,
do.
and I love the fact that you went with your guy right after too. Maybe
Ackland
it's another
Deer.
wager if you're high on him. That's another one. But I think Riley was a 5-star. Deer, I think is a 5-star, isn't he?
He might be. I got to get more eyes on him. I haven't really gotten to the running backs yet. It's something I'm going to do
Alabama,
next
man.
week.
Whew.
So, yeah, but again, this is where you take shots, especially with programs too. But
Yeah.
it doesn't always pan out, as we know. Alabama, how many running backs have they whiffed on in the last, 3 or 4 years? I feel like it's
What
been
was the last
years.
one? Jacobs, maybe?
No, I think
Maybe
it's
Jacobs was the last one?
Brian
Oh,
Robinson
Brian
Jr.
Robinson.
Probably, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I think
mean,
you're right.
and
Yeah.
he's
It's been a
mid
minute.
anyway. He's not like explosive by any means. Deuce Knight
Yeah.
back here going the 7th pick in the 8th round. Auburn incoming freshman. Jace Brown, interesting player from Kansas State, should have
Mhm.
another explosive vertical season. Jack Endries
Yeah, I
going to
believe.
Texas. Love him as a tight end prospect. I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end in the class. Kevin Coleman
Yeah.
Jr., I think, is an interesting selection here. Missouri wide receiver. You remember him. He came in with Travis Hunter and he just didn't take
Yeah.
really the same path, but he's going to be a senior this year. We'll see what he can do. Jeremy Bernard, I've got to get more eyes on. There's people that really are excited about him. And
I liked him at Washington, and I think he showcased himself pretty nicely at Alabama. Yeah, I gotta get more eyes on him too. I liked what I saw at Washington. There were
yeah,
definitely flashes of greatness.
And finishing out the 8th round is Jamie French, incoming wide receiver headed to Texas. So last couple rounds here, we'll go through these pretty quickly. Bryce Baker, the quarterback, incoming freshman, going to North Carolina. It should be interesting now with Belichick down there to see what he can actually do to develop. But that's a nice selection, I think, this far
I
down in
think
the
so
draft.
too. Yeah.
I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean, a lot of the players that we're talking about, although
Nothing.
the one I took, I can't believe is still on the board. But in any case, it's in the second pick, Kedron Young, a player that your Golden Domers love. I know he's a big back who should be getting some.
He is physical.
Yeah, he is, but is he going to have to wait again? I mean, I don't
Oh, he's
think,
gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he's
so
gonna have to wait. Yeah.
Jackson Arnold, I
Price
love this
wasn't
pick.
there, he'd be playing.
This is one of my favorite picks of the draft. Jackson Arnold with that wide receiver crew, new opportunity in Auburn this year. What
That is a
great
good point.
value. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a good point. He
and
is
he's
set up.
exactly. So again, a lot of these players are kicked to the curb so quick when they don't immediately provide, great film. Trey Wisner is an interesting
Mhm.
prospect going into the draft next year from Texas. Texas running backs always seem to at least get drafted.
Mhm.
LinkedIn Cure, the number one tight end coming into the class, going to Kansas State. People are excited about him. He's going early in supplemental drafts too. People are really excited about this guy. I've not watched him at all, so I have
I haven't
no
either.
idea
No.
like what he even looks like. Malik Washington, quarterback, going to Maryland, 2028, incoming freshman prospect. And then I'm on the board here, and Luke Reynolds is sitting there, the tight end from Penn State. Got to take him here. He's the next in line,
He should be
2027.
the guy, right?
I think from everything
I
I'm
would have
reading,
to
he's going to
imagine.
be the guy. But in the
Yeah.
limited action I saw from him last year, he looked pretty freaking solid, man. So I think he's got some
He looked good in his
athleticism.
recruit tape, so that's exciting.
Jarrett Gibb. Oh, I'm sorry, it's your selection. I keep saying your selections. I
No, it's
apologize.
all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I took Jarrett Gibson here, and I think Wisner was actually a really wise pick as well. He looked pretty
Hmm.
good in the time that he fulfilled, but Gibson was a big time recruit, and he might have some opportunities. So I'm happy to take him in the ninth.
I have a feeling this Trey Wisner kid's going to be the get the rock, the begin the
I
season.
I just feel like that's going to be the case, man. He looks
Yeah.
so solid.
Yeah, he did. Trey Green, tight end, 2027 prospect, LSU, tight end. Taylor Tatum, running back from Oklahoma, who now has a partner in crime in the backfield. Tayron Francis, LSU wide receiver, 2028 incoming freshman process. Not surprising. Luigi's going deep in the 2028 freshman like he does all the
Luigi,
time. And then
yes, he
your guy
does.
that you spoke about last week, Mazio Bennett, South
Yep,
Carolina
Isaiah
wide
MJ
receiver.
Bennett.
So
Yeah,
explosive wide receiver. That'll be a really good compliment to Nick Harbor up there. That rounds out
absolutely.
round 9. So the last round, we got Dazon Stribling, transferred to Ole Miss this year. He's a 2026 prospect. It's going to be interesting to see what he looks like on the field. He came from, I believe, Oklahoma State. Was it
Yeah,
Oklahoma
he came
State?
from Oklahoma State. Yeah, they have Caden Lee. They have Caleb Odom, who I talked about last week. I mean, that's
Hmm.
pretty solid receiver group if
Yeah.
it's going to be Simmons who's going to be the guy.
And Luigi is still a believer with Evan Stewart. Oh no, Luigi, you're
You know
wasting
what?
your
10th
10th
round
pick.
though.
Yeah, I know.
What do
I
you
get
got
it.
to
I'm
lose?
only teasing Luigi because
Yeah.
he's so teasable.
Uh,
Fluff
so it's
Bothwell is very interesting pick here. That guy transferred to Mississippi State. He was a stud. And what a name, Fluff Bothwell. Yeah, I would draft him
that is
just
a
for the
great
name
name.
alone. That is a
Yeah.
great name. Mika Hudson, remember him? 5-star
Uh,
prospect.
Hudson, so
Yeah.
good.
So, but
I
he's
don't know
not
what to
so
make of
good
that
because
guy.
he's on his third team, or was
Yeah, I
like
don't know what to
second
make of
to.
him.
Yeah, I don't
That's
either.
normally not a good trend.
And you're on the clock. Who are you taking with your last pick in the draft?
I'm going with what could be the starting running back for Alabama this season in Jam Miller, who's been there, shows explosiveness, shows pass catching ability. I am kind of surprised I'm getting him this late. This might be the best value to me. I mean, I don't know what to make of his next level prospect, but I saw enough to say that there's a foundation of NFL skill set there. So yeah, Jam Miller in the
Yeah,
10th round. I'm
great
happy with that one.
value. Yes. What have you
Yeah.
done for me lately? He's a boring
Yeah.
Alabama wide receiver that nobody wants except for
Yes.
Jason. Okay.
Except for
So,
me. Give me my
and I'm
milk.
going to take a guy that I'm not sure even would have been drafted if we went to 15 rounds, and that's LSU wide receiver Barian Brown,
It's kind of crazy.
who I'm thinking, okay, I know he's shown flashes of disappointment in his tape over Kentucky, but you go to LSU and all of a sudden it's a whole different animal, and he could just have a good season where
Yeah.
he ends up being an early day 3 guy or something. Who knows? Andrew
Right.
Marsh, Wide receiver, 2020 incoming freshman going to Michigan, CJ Bailey. I thought was a really good pick here. QB
That is a good pick.
2027. He's got some upside that maybe, he's not eligible for 2026. So no one's really talking about him right now. Camario Taylor, quarterback incoming Mississippi State freshman. Luke Haas, little undersized tight end. He's also at Ole Miss now. So they like reloaded that entire wide receiver room with that new quarterback. Deion Burks at Oklahoma. And the last pick, Mr. Draylon Miller from Colorado. So a lot of good names.
What's really interesting to me, Brandon, is do you remember the quarterback class, the Walker Whites going to Auburn?
Oh, yeah.
And the Cherries going to, I think it was
Indiana.
Like,
Indiana.
Right. These guys that where are they?
Yeah.
They're non-existent, man. It happens that fast.
It really does, and half the freshmen that are drafted now probably won't sniff the field
They
either.
won't be in the next one, right?
Transfer to a group of 5 or group of 4 or whatever it's called now school, and they go into the DEVY wasteland, which happens a lot. So there you guys got it. I hope you enjoyed that. Gives you a sneak peek of not just the 2026 class, but the 2027 and 2027 8 as well. Always a fun exercise.